to the unofficial Disney Tonight Show podcast.
Please welcome my dear friend and your host, Mr. David Studebaker.
Hey,
those guns. What's going on there?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I see. Here's the thing. I'm running out of shirts, Disney shirts. We're on episode 10.
Because you're just getting so muscular. They're just
I've actually let it go a little bit because Matthew's so gigantic. Whenever I had to carry him around for 2 years, and so I did a dad bod fitness video. It was working out well, but really I'm running out of shirts. So this is my my Everything is Satisfactual Splash Mountain shirt. I also wanted to wear this because part of how, since we last saw, I've taken up a new job. I've been doing a lot of farming, as you can see. I've been, as you can see from the there's a lot of. I got the tan to prove it. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're back, baby, and I am very excited to bring. We're just the whole team's here. We got Mando here. We got Jake here. We got James Creviston. Luke is not here. He's a little busy, but in Luke's place, we have another dear friend of mine and comedian. So he fits both of the Luke profiles. The great Danny Hawawini. Give it up for Danny Hawawini. Oh my goodness. Comedian, father. He just had his second child, I think 45 minutes ago. They just drove from the hospital. How you doing? How you doing, Danny? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. I told her, hey, let's hurry up with that baby. I got a podcast to do. But,
yeah, this is important stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy I fit kind of in the Luke Venn diagram there. But for those of you that don't know me, first thing people notice is my last name, probably assuming I'm Hawaiian. But shout out to Moana, Lilo and Stitch, showing what Hawaiian and Polynesian people are actually like. So for anybody wondering, my representation comes actually in Aladdin, or as a Middle Easterner like myself would call it, Aladdin. So fun fact for the non-Middle Eastern in the crowd, that is a real name that people would say Aladdin. But yeah, big Disney fan, happy to be here.
You want to give that one a shot, Jake? Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Give it a shot.
When I look at it, I want to go like Hawawini.
Well, one, it was. Well, you know what? Heady play, Jake, because it was actually, I wanted you to say Aladdin, but you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to try that. Let me.
He's like, I'm going big. I'm going
Hawawini into being Italian.
Hawawini.
Yeah, there you go.
With this olive skin, it really could be anything. So sure, why not Italian?
Yeah, right. There you go. So sorry, Danny. I interrupted, but yeah, the great Hawawini.
How have you not become a magician that does only Halloween tricks? How does that not come up? How's that not become the thing that you're going to do?
Yeah, it's something I've thought about.
You wear a pumpkin head.
Maybe Mando has a pumpkin head I can borrow. I don't know.
Not at my disposal right at the moment.
There you go. I've gotten Hawawini, obviously is your birthday on Halloween. How's your weenie? I basically come out like Eminem in 8 Mile, where I just come out and just give them all at once, and then just all right, you think of something new now,
Nice. I'm gonna think of something.
I would love that.
Yeah, that'll be the entire show. You know what, Danny? I just realized we lost James for the whole show. He's not going to be focusing on anything going on in the show. You're just going to see him like workshopppping. Okay, Halloween.
Did his video just get up?
I know Hanukkah weenie. He's going to try. He's going to come up with something.
I will.
But
I'm excited.
So Danny and I, we've done a lot of shows together, and we've had some pretty incredible show flyers. If you're listening via podcast, go to our Instagram page. I'll post all of them on the Instagram page so you can look through them.
Let's see.
Have you had Hawaiian Genie yet?
Hawaiian Genie?
So there's the first one.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one of my 2 dogs, my beautiful angel that I'm holding there. And you'll see and there's Danny. That's your dog, Danny. Or did you borrow that dog?
that is my. I've been borrowing her for the last 6 years or so.
Oh, that's right. No, it was Uncle Charlie Adams, the sweet man above you. He had to borrow that dog above him. That's what it was.
Nice.
That's
legitimately the cover of Willow. I just said like that's legitimate. You just redid the cover of Willow instead of holding swords and like a wand. You're just holding dogs.
So here's the next one. You'll see how creative we were. I was clearly very busy when I was designing this next one.
Yeah, that's the same one. That's the same one.
The same exact one.
Literally the same thing, except Alexis Rutledge wasn't able to join us, and we had the great Arpan Chopra at that show, and so Connor just fit him right there and changed the color scheme. It now looks like a baseball diamond kind of. I mean, a home plate behind us with some dirt. But yeah, so that's that one. Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. That was just the appetizer.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the good stuff. This one actually legitimately is one of my favorite show flyers of all time. And it's also one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time that it's based on. This bad boy right here.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Oh, Studebaker, where art thou?
I am the man.
Yeah.
Okay, Jake.
Oh, there you go, Jake. Jake's got the DVD. I have the DVD in the other room as well. There you
David,
go.
why do we look kind of funny on Jake's DVD there, though?
Yeah, right. I know.
This is the alternate version.
Okay, director's cut.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So there's of course I insisted I get the Clooney one, but
Of course.
there you go. And then sadly, I think Imran G was a late addition because he didn't get on there. So this is Danny, that's Bobak, and then there I am. And now finally, this is the coup de grace. This
East de Resistance.
Do you guys remember? Do you remember the Mr. Potato Head that was horrifying that Luke did of me?
Yes.
This is considerably more horrifying, much more horrifying.
Who made this one?
This
Luke,
was
also Luke.
No, this was actually. So this was designed by my buddy Connor, who's an incredible graphic designer. But it was last minute, and it was a very weird design, and I just had him throw it together really fast. Okay. So this is not Connor, because Connor did the Oh Brother We're Out That. He did all the other flyers you've seen, and he designed the cover of Lone Star Lance, which someday Mando's going to read. So here we go. You ready? Feast your eyes on what might be the most horrifying thing you've ever seen.
Oh,
look at that.
Wow.
Big space.
Oh my gosh.
Notice Danny Hawawini is the dog. He's Eddie. Frasier is my favorite sitcom of all time. Well, tied with Seinfeld. But
oh my God.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. Nightmares.
We're like, hey, we want to sell out a show.
He couldn't even get rid of the DVD video logo.
I know, that's what I was gonna think. That's what I was about to say too.
No, I actually insisted on that. I wanted that
really?
for authenticity. Yeah, I wanted it to look exactly like we just took a DVD cover and then copied it.
Wow.
Well, that's terrifying. Thank you, David.
Maybe I hear the nightmares calling.
Yeah. And then
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
And you know, but Danny, back me up. All of them were great shows, well attended, fantastic.
Yeah, and this may come as a surprise, but this one was probably the best. I mean,
it was. Yeah,
people saw the flyer and they said, "Yeah, I'll have some of that talk salad. It's gonna be great."
You know what? It's actually now that I think about it, it's great marketing because if you make something so horrifying that they'll never forget it, it'll be in their dreams, and they won't forget to go to the show. So there you go, you guys. So that's a little walk down memory lane. So
wow,
yeah,
I was
right. How you transition from that?
That was terrifying.
Disney Tonight Show is back with a bang. And yes, if you're listening via podcast, please go to the Instagram page. You will not be well, maybe you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't make any promises.
Yeah. Either
if
way,
you want something to haunt your nightmares, go check out the Instagram page.
Yeah, you'll have a strong reaction regardless, either way. As I said, we've been away for a bit. We've been very busy, but we're back. And we're just going to, quickly, we're going to recap what we've been up to. And then we're going to go into some very exciting and crazy Disney history and trivia. And we're going to be doing a Disney trivia live stream coming up. And some of these questions will be, or some of the questions in it will be directly related to what you hear in this show. So first off, Jake, we'll lead in with you because while we were away, you were very excited. You got tickets both right after Disneyland reopened, and you're like, I have to go to Avengers Campus because Jake is a Marvel expert and fan. And so you also bought tickets. What was it, on May the 4th Be With You? Was it, or no,
Okay.
that was
the
June
first time.
Yeah, because it wasn't open then. So yeah,
Yes.
so you got tickets, you made this plan, it was all coming together, and then what happened?
Well, I want to start out with saying my trip on May 4th and 5th were amazing. All of the rides were like 5-10 minute waits. So it was like amazing. It was great. Then we went back June 9th. It was a few days after the Avengers Campus opened. And I was like, dude, we have to go. We thought because it was just a month after we went last time, oh, the wait times are going to be fine, right? We didn't consider the fact that high school just got out and all school just got out. So we waited in line for Radiator Springs Racers for about 2.5 hours. First thing in the morning. It went from the best Disney trip I've ever been to in May to the worst Disney trip I've ever been to in June. In the morning, okay, so the Avengers Campus, you have to do like a queue. They give you 2 chances. First one is at 7 in the morning before you even leave for the park, and then the other is at noon. We missed the one at 7, so we're like, okay, we're fine. We're gonna get in at noon. So we were in line for cars thinking it'd be like 30 minutes because that's what it said on the thing. I'm pretty sure the ride broke down halfway through or something. It was crawling up to noon. So we did the math. We looked up the wait time, or not the wait time, the length of the ride. And we're like, okay, if we get on like at this time, we'll have like 2 minutes to get the thing once we get off. So we went on the ride and I kept my phone in my hand with the app open the entire ride, worried it was going to get to noon. We got off and we're like, oh my God, we're going to get it. And there was like 3 or 4 other groups doing the same thing. And we opened the app and we did it. And we both looked at each other and we're like, we didn't get it. And everyone else is like, we got it!
Oh, no.
Yeah! And my girlfriend was like on the verge of tears. Like you're supposed to have a live clock out while doing it because you're supposed to do it like a millisecond before or something.
That's ridiculous.
So Sammy, when we were walking out of the ride, she's like, this trip is ruined. Like because we came for Avengers Campus and for the Spider-Man ride.
You see Jake climbing over the wall and getting arrested.
We wanted really bad to get in there, but we did witness the swinging Spider-Man animatronic from outside of the land, which was nice.
And that's he's actually swinging. That isn't that's not a sexual reference, right?
No.
I have the right one, correct?
No, he's really physically swinging with a wire.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Party, guys.
Listen, you got to be clear for the people at home. You don't want to confuse it. I don't want to deter people from going to the ride.
It's not that kind of place. It was.
I got your keys.
It was a good trip. Other than that, as for the first time I went to California Adventure in May, I was able to ride Soaring Across the World.
Yeah, here it comes. Now, Danny, and for anyone listening at home, this is a crazy, controversy that has divided this show because Luke and I absolutely adore Soarin'. It's a top 3 ride to me. I can make an argument it's my favorite ride, but it's not. But I could argue that. James and Mando, deathly afraid of it, hate the ride. So
afraid of it or hate it?
No,
both.
I'm afraid of it.
Both.
Oh my God.
I hate it, and I feel like you will fall to your death.
They both hate it and are afraid of it.
I dislike it.
So,
I'm not afraid of it. I just dislike that feeling, and I don't want to ride it.
I swear to God, I like teared up by the end of it.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Jake. Thank you.
The music,
it's gorgeous, right?
I
have that.
So
I bought
good.
that music. I have it. I listened to it. Because it's so wonderful.
I am a nerd.
Jake, would you say the only way Soarin' Across the World could be better is if Aladdin would come in and offer to show you the world? Excuse me, Aladdin.
Yeah,
that might make me like it. That might make me like it. If that happened, I'm in Disney. Like, I'll do it.
Pulls up on the carpet, you know?
Yeah. He's like, I can show you the world. And I'm like, all right, let's do this, Aladdin.
Yeah. All right, fine.
Aladdin, let's go. Let's do this.
Yalla Aladdin.
Yeah, let's do it. I love Aladdin. That's one of the best movies. I mean,
So true.
James, can you have some respect for Danny and his heritage? Can you say it correctly?
I say it the way Disney tell me to say it. They have more money.
So we'll swing down, Danny. So let's go to you, Danny. Do you have any stories of going to Disneyland as a child? Anything?
Yeah, no, it's been something I've been going with my parents as long as I can remember. In my adult years, I just started going there. I would do the Disney half marathon when that was a thing. No thank you to the full marathon. Those people are crazy. But yeah, it'd be either little kid or it would be kind of by myself. So, with the little girls coming along, like I definitely want to take them, especially while they're under 3 and free. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Yep.
So it'll be different
it's a thing. Trust me. It's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
I know I can count on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Soon as Matthew hits 3, the Disneyland trips might be a little less frequent, but
Yeah. Sorry. I hope you had fun.
Listen here, kid. It's either college or Disneyland.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I hope you have memories before 3.
We get a lot of video. We get a lot of video, and then you can just rewatch the video of you.
Oh, it's perfect. It's like you're there. But I feel like it'll be different, but it'll be great, right? And I definitely, like I said, went there when I was a kid. I'll try to do better with my girls than my parents did with me. And I feel safe saying this because they're not going to hear this. My mom, rest her soul, she passed away, and my dad doesn't even know what a podcast is. So he's not gonna hear this. But like, my parents did not set me up for success down there just at all. I get, different time. This was, Jake before California Adventure, but like, I feel like I have very vivid memories of like my brother and I being there when the gates open and them just letting us sprint unattended, like through the park. I must have been 8 or something. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. Cause we just wanted to go on Space Mountain a couple times before the park opened.
That's what I do. The moment you open, you get in there early, you get to the chains, you hug the right lane. And I've been the first person on Space Mountain. You run. But sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Heady play.
And at least they knew where we were going. But, in my head, I'm like, okay, I mean, letting us run free in the park, like, I guess that's something. But they weren't really amusement park people generally. Like when we would go to Anaheim, we would drive, we would stay at the Castle Inn. Probably because it's cheap, but in my mom's world, I'm sure like, oh, Danny, it's a castle, like so great. I was like, okay, like she would swear it's owned by Disney, even though checking my notes, it is most definitely not.
It's like you're staying in Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Basically, what's the difference?
There's cigarette butts everywhere.
Yeah, in the pool, no big deal. But they're not amusement park people, right? Put it that way. But like, they let me do my own thing. Again, different time, but they would just let me walk through the park by myself. Basically, my mom just like wanted to get a front row seat to the Main Street Electric Parade. Like that was all she cared about. But she would just
Danny, you were 3 years old, right? You were 3 years old.
Yes, something like that. But my memories obviously are real sharp around the time. But in her mind,
Danny, you see James looking down. He's making notes, still trying to figure out a sick burn on your name. But sorry, continue.
How a 3 years old? No, I don't know. But yeah, my mom thought it's like a perfectly clear direction to be like, I'll be sitting in front on Main Street, so just come find me there. Like for the parade, no big deal. But I'm excited, right? Needless to say, actually going on rides with them. My mom was terrified of rides. Also, she had like really bad asthma. Unfortunately, when you're a little kid, you don't really realize that. And so I tried to like convince her to go on rides with me.
Let's do the canoes, Mom.
I know. So I think she liked Pirates of the Caribbean because, she liked, yo-ho, yo-ho, whatever. I tried to convince her though. I wanted her to go on a ride with me. So we were going, I said, look, Mom, like this ride is fine. It's easy. And it was the Matterhorn.
No. The most physically abusive ride at Disneyland.
Yeah, basically that and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad are like the 1-2 punch of like, if your neck hurts, just stay off.
Yeah. Well, it's like Big Thunder, but at least Big Thunder is a smooth ride, whereas Matterhorn's a chiropractic adjustment.
Yes, they should just have chiropractors at the end of it. You ready for this? You ready? See you in five, guys.
The little splashdown is just like a little ice bath for your body, right?
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, I felt in hindsight, I felt really bad because the bobsled's going up the little hills and the Yeti, jumps out and scares her half to death basically. And then the other half of her life just slowly drained away with every tight turn around the mountain.
She can't breathe and she has a broken back.
And it was so when we went through the little ice bath and the little voice was like, remain seated please, permanece sentado por favor, like my mom was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. And
can we get?
She was basically unconscious. Yeah. But I felt bad. Like she could hardly breathe. She needed to like sit down for an hour, and I was just like a dumb little kid, like, yeah, gotcha, mom. But I'm looking forward to it. It should be great once little Perry and Murphy are ready to go. So
what's going to happen is Perry and Murphy, when they're a little bit older, I'm going to send them this clip. I'll cut out the whole Spider-Man swinging joke, but I'll send them this clip, and then they'll be fully authorized to they're going to come up with something strong for you.
If they can find something that takes my life away, go for it. Give it a shot.
They just start hitting you with baseball bats to make up for what happened to your mom. That's great. Well, thank you. That's beautiful. And that, by the way, for the viewers and listeners, there will be a question related to that ride. The question is going to be, I'm just giving it away. What ride did Danny torture his mom on when he was a kid? That will be on the upcoming trivia night.
And James, you'll like this, James. My mom's name was Mimi. So her name was Mimi Hawawini.
Nice.
Like a really great rhyming scheme, You can,
That's fantastic.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
So
that's awesome.
We're pouring one out for Robin, pour one out for Mimi.
Yeah, that's right. James, we'll go to you. You tonight we're teaching high schoolers how to do stand-up. You teach a stand-up course for high schoolers at a community center, which sounds interesting. Are these the same high schoolers you made me perform for that one time?
I mean, they're not the same high schoolers, but they're
they're same
center. Yeah, same community
center. That was a war zone in there. But actually, it was nice. That was actually one of the sweetest things ever, because this is a tangent, but James booked Luke and I and him to perform in a teen center. And it was in like the gymnasium. There was just like a sad DJ alone with like 3 kids in there. And then like kids started kind of trickling in, but they were all like standing on tables, and it was really dark in there. And it was a very weird vibe. And then I got up there and just started roasting these, because some of them were being a little disrespectful to James and Luke. And Danny's worked with me before. I'll bring some audience work on stage. I've been known to do a little roasting and toasting. So I went at these kids, and I think one of the kids left because I was going a little too hard, because he felt he was a rude kid, and he ended up leaving. But I think he may have been like the bully, because the rest of the kids started literally taking money into their hat to give to me afterwards, because we weren't getting paid a whole lot. So they were literally tipping me with like quarters that they had. They were going to use in an arcade game. It was the most honored I've been after a show ever.
You might have thought you were homeless.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, who's this guy wandering in here? But it actually ended up good. But you're teaching writing and performance. And so it's like, what's the deal with homeroom? Am I right? Yeah.
We actually watched.
Good joke.
It's via Zoom. Everything's homeroom. Come on. Okay. Yeah. Continue.
No, we did watch some Seinfeld today, and that's exactly what Seinfeld jokes are. What's the deal with whatever it is. So that's the basic formula. But yeah, so we're in week 3 of this. So they've written opening jokes. They've written a couple of different styles, and today we covered topical jokes and stuff. So we did a topical joke and stuff, and they're good. There's some kids that like puns, love puns. They just want to do pun stuff all the time. those kids. It's their whatever. Each their own.
You know what? I got an exercise for you for the next class.
Okay.
Danny Hawawini. See what they can do with the name. That's your next exercise.
Have fun.
Danny Hawawini 50.
Keep working on it.
I'm working on them. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep coming up with stuff. Danny Hawawini 50. Anyways, so that's what I've been doing with that, and then working on scripts and screenplays and stuff. So I just turned in something on Monday, and they like the notes, but they want to go a little bit deeper on some stuff. So it's good. Everything's been going good. And then I'm going to Texas for my 40th birthday. And I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to hold this up, see if you can see it. But this is my rental for the week while I'm there.
Oh yeah, you got a nice Tesla there.
Tesla Model Y right there for the week. So
driving in style.
And I got in touch with one of my best friends growing up. So I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood. Most of my friends were in gangs or whatever and stuff. And one of my best friends, Josh, I'm not going to say his last name because I don't want to call him out here.
he's on parole.
No. But he's a rough and tumble guy. Like he's a rough and tumble guy. But he always told me as a kid, because we were like brothers, he always said, you got to get out of here. You got to make something of yourself. And so I talked to him today, and he works, like a factory job. Like he's like a blue collar working guy. He like asked me what I did. I'm like, I'm a comedian and I'm a comedy writer. And he's like, what? Are you kidding me? Like it was just interesting.
You're like, hey, I'm the king of Ghana crime shows. Okay,
Hey, you know what? That don't knock it. Don't knock it. The right one.
I'm not knocking. I'm saying, you stand proud. You are the greatest. Well, you're not the showrunner, but listen, you're the heavy hitter of Ghana TV.
So it was just interesting to see how people have lived. He's lived in the same place his entire life, never been, never moved out of there. And so, it's so interesting. And when I was a kid, he always told me you're going to be something, you're going to make something. So I told him I never wanted to let you down. So that was important to me. Sweet. Yeah. It means a lot. And then, I'm going to go see my grandma, and my kids are going to see my grandma, and they're going to see how dirt poor I was growing up. Literally the trailer park I lived in and the ghetto house that I used to live in. I'm going to show them in a Tesla, right? We're going to drive there in a Tesla.
You're going to get robbed.
I know, right? I was like, I'm about to get mugged. We're going in the daylight though, so it's going to be a little.
Now I know why you got the Tesla. You're like, I want to drive up in the nicest car. You should have gotten a Rolls Royce and being like, look at me now.
No, the Tesla, man. The Tesla's pretty. I originally had a Lexus, and they messed up my reservation. I had a Lexus SUV, and they messed up my reservation, so I went back to book it, and the Tesla was actually cheaper this time. And I was like, Tesla it is. All right.
So live it up.
At least the Tesla can circle the block while you're checking out.
We're not getting out of the car. If that's what you're thinking, we're not getting out of the car. That's not what's happening.
Make sure everything is a moving target.
Yeah. Just there it is, kids. Autopilot, get us out of here,
That's awesome. Well, that's great. We'll look forward to getting a report from your Texas trip on our next episode or on our next trivia night.
Perfect.
And Mando turned 21. A lot of birthdays happened. Turned 21 a few days ago. Got utterly wasted at Galaxy's Edge. I think you puked on Hondo. I think when you were in the queue, you puked up onto. Is that what happened? Did you getting the story?
That's what happened.
I'm a journalist.
Wait, did you go to the cantina and have every drink they had?
She got wasted.
So I went to.
What color was the vomit?
So I went to. I said to my mom for my 21st birthday, I really wanted to spend it and do something amazing with my family. So my sisters and my mom had never been to Galaxy's Edge. I had gone with a friend. So I was I think the biggest and best birthday present for my 21st birthday was seeing it through their eyes and seeing the amazement they had. Because my sisters, I got them into Star Wars, so they were blown away with how, walking in the Millennium Falcon and everything like that. So that was the best present of all, was just seeing their reactions to it all. But no, I didn't go to the cantina. I didn't get a reservation or something. So I didn't get to go in, but I had the most amazing time with my family. It's probably my favorite trip I've ever been on to Hollywood Studios.
So if you don't go to the cantina, where did you get alcohol in Disney? Oh, all right, fair enough. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Hawawini 5-0 is coming for you, man.
It's like this isn't a lightsaber, it's a flask. Woo!
I'm prepared. I didn't get wasted drunk either. I hate drinking. So I spent my 21st birthday like sober. I'm a normal person.
Yeah, she was smart. On my 21st birthday, and I'm not a drinker, but on my 21st birthday, I played King's Cup with straight rum, unchased. Yeah, it was a rough night, and I lost. So it was in every sense of the word. So yeah, but sorry, Mando.
If you get to go to the cantina though, Mando, you got to get the little Jello thing that they have there. That they have at all these cantinas. It's fantastic.
There's such amazing drinks in the cantina. Like I really want to go in there because that's like the only part of Galaxy's Edge I've never seen. So I have to go in there one day and get a drink.
We ordered every single drink that wasn't alcoholic there, which was like 8 drinks, I think, and then like the little Jello, and then like they had like a charcuterie platter that was disgusting. But besides that, everything else was amazing.
I've heard the Java
$4,000.
It was like $282, something like that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I go big. Well, here's the thing. When I go on a vacation, my mom was the mom that would be like, I brought sandwiches, so we're not going to get food in the park. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that to my kids. I'm not going to do that to myself. So we plan like a couple G's to like.
I live fully on Go Macro bars when I'm at the park, so I don't stop. I don't
fully
stop
live on
moving.
Go Macro bars anyway.
That's gotta keep that physique, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do not stop moving. It is like basically Disneyland with me is like basic training for you, James. When you were in the military, that's what my Disneyland days are.
No, you marched me around New York City. I know exactly.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that on the show. Did we talk about it on the show? Where I think we did.
Yeah, that's March.
Yeah, we did
through New York.
Yeah, where I broke James's legs. I'm a mean man. Okay, so we're back, and now we're gonna transition to segment 2, where we're gonna do a little Disney Parks history, little primer for the trivia night coming up. I'm gonna start with just a story that is one of my favorite stories, because I love stories where like someone comes up with an idea, or there's like the Beatles got turned down by a bunch of record labels. Like I love it when people turn something down that ends up being like massive. So one of my favorite Disneyland history stories is when Walt was building Disneyland, he wanted a hotel attached, and he didn't have the money to build the hotel himself, so he hit up literally every major hotel chain in the country. And he said, listen, all I need you to do is just a small, single story, like 50 room or 100 room, like essentially like a Motel 6, like nothing that would not be much money for them at all. Every single major chain completely turned him down, said, oh, this place is going to go out of business right away. So he finally had to call his buddy who was like an oil magnate. And that guy bankrolled it and built it, and it became the most profitable hotel in the history of the world.
Castle Inn, right?
Yeah, Castle Inn. There you go. Yeah, exactly. So Disneyland Hotel is reopening, so that is the theme of that one. So, but I just find that so hilarious, and then even better, which this will be a trivia question: who hosted the opening day Disney? Who's the main TV host of the opening day Disneyland special? Do we all know that? We all should know that, right? Do we not?
Dick Clark? I don't know.
Wow, the great Art Linkletter, who also hosted many other great shows, Kids Say the Darndest Things, etc. Fantastic guy. But Art and Walt, they were really good friends because they both weren't into the Hollywood party scene, and they wouldn't go to the crazy parties, and their wives were friends. So when Walt was building Disneyland, he took Art to the land, and he goes, listen, I'll let you buy as much land right next to Disneyland as you want. You could buy everything you want, just as much as you want, because it'll be super cheap. And Art goes, yeah, I just don't think this thing's really going to be a success. So he didn't buy any of the land around it, which again, may be the most expensive real estate on the planet now. But also interesting about Art, Walt didn't have the budget to pay him to host the thing because he was like a major star. And so Art said, no, I'll host it for nothing. All you have to do is I just invested in a really small camera shop here in Hollywood. If you could just give them the exclusive photo rights to Disneyland, I'll do it for you. And he said, okay, great, we'll do it. Guess what the company was, that little small camera shop? Kodak. That was the camera shop. And
they're still the official one, right? They're still the official thing
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, I think so. As of the point where people still printed out pictures, they were.
Yeah. Too prominent to the submarine ride.
Yeah. So there's some trivia and also some like just hilarious. Like if I were Walt, I would call every one of those hotel chains and be like, "Yo, Mr. Hilton, how you doing? Hey."
I would, if I was Walt Disney, I would call up everyone and be like, "Oh, look how amazing Disney! Oh, your hotel's not here. Oh, what a shame."
Well, and the ironic thing too about it is that Walt didn't actually really profit off of it. I mean, he did because it drew people there, but it was that oil guy. He owned the whole thing. And actually, another fun fact, that iconic Disneyland sign was actually from the Disneyland Hotel, and then Disney adopted it later. But that, so there's a little stuff for you there. So let's shift. Jake, do you have something for us? A fun Disney parks, Disneyland history, etc.
So I don't have like a story like you do, but I was just reminded a few weeks ago. It's actually funny that these kind of are really close together. I just visited my grandfather, and I was reminded about this thing about the fact that he was one of the like engineers on Pirates of the Caribbean when it was being built.
How have we not had him on the show? We got to have this guy on the show. What do we do?
He doesn't understand stuff
out
like
on
this.
A pirate's life for him.
Yeah, so he was a pretty young guy at the time. The way he explained it was kind of not very great, but from what I understand is that he worked for this specific company, and Disney hired them to come in to do like plumbing, engineering, stuff like that. So he was just
he did the bathrooms adjacent to the Pirates.
No, like the water, like how stuff sprouts out and stuff. He did other stuff like he doesn't know the names of the rides, so he's like, I worked on that spaceship ride, and I'm like, Space Mountain? He's like, no, not that one. I'm like, Astro Orbiters? He's like, I don't know. So
not a Disney file.
He did. I think he might have done Small World, or not done it, but like I think he might have had some helping hand in it. But he was telling me how nothing worked with Pirates for the first while that they worked on it. Stuff was leaking, and there was this like kind of like electrical issue that they had where they had to tear everything out and redo it.
Oh man.
It was a big issue, but he was telling me because Walt was working on Pirates, and it was the last thing he was overseeing before he passed away. My grandpa vividly remembers seeing Walt like walking 20 feet in front of him, like just checking out the ride, like, wow. Just before, obviously maybe a few months before he passed away. But he said it was a cool experience, but like I guess they thought he did a good job because they invited him to work at Disney World years later, and he declined. But
he's like,
he's a humble man.
He's like, I'm so tired of all these spaceships and these talking kids, and I had to listen to It's a Small World 4,980 million times. You know, it's
Do they keep the music on when they do like maintenance on that? Is what I wonder.
That'd be terrifying if they did.
No,
well, that's what I'm thinking. I think your grandpa has some PTSD from them just playing that. That's awesome. No. That's a great.
Yeah.
Well done, Jake.
He was
well
shirtless on there. He's a pirate.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So, Mr. Hawawini, what do we got?
Yeah, you know, I similar a story here, right? And it's something I just feel like I need to get off my chest. I'm gonna get out of the clouds here in Bespin. I got to get under the fiery suns of Tattoo 1 and Tattoo 2. For those of you on the podcast, sorry, just changed the virtual background here because I have what the kids would call a hot take. Now, I don't know if you can get burned by a hot take if it's about something Frozen, spoiler. But look, I'm a father of 2 girls. I've mentioned this, so it probably won't come as a surprise that Frozen and Frozen 2 are basically on repeat in this household. I gave my daughter a bath and all she wanted to do was Frozen 2, Frozen 2. It's like, okay, we get it. You know, it's the first choice on movie nights. It's the first ask when it comes to music in the car. I will just sit there and sing whatever song you need. Like, it's terrible. But I'm prepared for the heat here. I need to set the record straight. I love the movie, by the way. My more handsome and talented friend, Mr. Studebaker, I know you'll die on the hill that you think the franchise as a whole is overrated.
Oh yeah.
I'm not ready to go that far. I'm not ready to jump out there with you. Because, you know, maybe it's my age showing. David, I've got pretty sure a few years on you. James, not on you. Mando, you basically don't look a day over foundling. I don't know, but Jake, maybe you as well. But look, I appreciate the Broadway-ness of it all. Right. So I actually love them. I get goosebumps. Right. The one thing I have an issue with, I can't wrap my head around, why does anybody like Elsa? Like, she's everywhere. She's the face of the franchise, but she's terrible. She has to be the most overrated princess protagonist in the greater Disney universe. I mean, all credit to the golden pipes of Idina Menzel, right? She does great.
Get it
but
right.
She's
Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem.
Travolta has spoken.
Thank you. But she's a monster, an absolute monster of a sister. And I feel like I will teach my daughter Perry to do with Murphy the exact opposite of what Elsa does to Anna. Can we consult? Can we look at the record here? So in Frozen, right? And I guess spoiler alert for a however many year old movie, right? But she almost kills Anna with her ice powers. Not once, friends, but twice. The first time, if you remember, forces a troll to actually administer a case of amnesia. And the second time would have been successful in killing her had Anna not still, for some reason, try to sacrifice her life to save Elsa. Anna is a real one. Elsa is a would-be murderer. If you think about that movie, her only redeeming trait, everybody loves it, right? Singing Let It Go. If we're being real though, right, that's a song which is her just saying, look, I'm a monster, but everybody knows it, and shrug emoji, I'm fine with it. Everything's cold. We're good here. It's like, it's still, there's zero redemption there. Now in Frozen 2, a little bit of redemption, but I would still argue she's actually even worse. Because again, spoiler for Frozen 2. But in this case, she lies to Anna multiple times over. But this time, you know, whereas in Frozen 1, she, I guess, literally stabbed her with ice. This time it's a metaphorical stab in the back. But this time it's actually on purpose. She is lying to her over and over again about big stuff. Like if Anna had an Arendellian dollar for every time Elsa broke a promise, to be honest, or to be upfront, or, you know, whatever it is, she wouldn't need to take the crown, baby. She'd be on a beautiful tropical vacation, right? Elsa, yeah, David, please.
And can I add, because that was a beautiful manifesto. Can we all just give a round of applause for that manifesto?
Got a little left in the tank, my friend. I'm passionate about this.
I just want to jump in, then you can finish. But adding to just how horrible she is. I didn't really think about this. I just thought the marketing campaign was way too good for Frozen, and the movie just wasn't as good as the marketing campaign. But if you make it even, take it even more with how bad she is, not only is she lying to Anna over and over again, but Anna might be the most trusting and gullible protagonist I've ever seen in a movie.
Fault.
To a real fault. With the dude where she wants to marry him after like 7 seconds. So
they finish each other's sandwiches, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
So not only is she lying to this, she's not lying to like, a cunning James Creviston who's really knows what's going on. She's lying basically to like the mind of a child. And it's just, it really is continuous.
This dum-dum is going to sacrifice her life anyways. What do I have to lose? But the whole thing is just crazy, right? She does, I'll give her credit. She makes an attempt to, learn about her past, right? Shout out to Show Yourself. That legit gives me goosebumps when I hear it. She frees the forest, the one thing in the good column. But that, of course, was only after she once again endangered Anna, and this time poor Olaf's life, by literally shoving them down a river littered with earth giants. What the hell is wrong with Elsa? Like, do you have any idea how terrible a person you have to be if the magical snowman that you created, again, out of magic, is like, yo, she lied. Like, he was upset. For that reason, I am out. Like, he was not happy about that. But I mean, her happy ending is a happy ending for everyone because she gets the heck out of town. She leaves Arendelle in the incredibly capable hands of Queen Anna. A little gullible, but incredibly capable. So to my daughters, Perry and Murphy, David, when you roll back this footage for them to listen, my loves, be considerate, be selfless, be brave, be an Anna, and do not, I'm looking right in the camera, do not be an Elsa.
Ladies, be a Frozen 2 Anna. Let's not be like an early Frozen Anna. Perry.
She was a little thirsty. She was a little thirsty for Hans.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got 7 aisles, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm with you. Can we give him a round of applause? I mean, my goodness, what a manifesto.
I mean, am I wrong? I don't think.
And let me say, we did a trivia night on TikTok last year where we did poll questions for our regulars, and they answered. It was a secret poll, and then it was like Family Feud. You had to guess what people answered. The most unanimous opinion of any question of the 70 questions was that Frozen is the most overrated Disney film. So, and it wasn't multiple choice. They all just pulled that out. So, James,
I think the reason why it's such a big deal is because she's the only princess that doesn't rely on a prince. Like, literally, she's the only princess that doesn't have a prince to her.
I get
she relies on her sister.
Yeah. It's that she and I would say that's even worse because the male hero prince trope is obviously overplayed in a lot of Disney stuff, but I think like the sibling dynamic that Disney does sometimes is a little off-putting as well, and that one's definitely very off-putting.
It had some interesting elements. So Mando or James, who wants to go next? We are short on time. Who wants to go next?
I have a cool story that I just learned from my wife. My wife, she lives in Oak Park, and part of Oak Park does.
Did you give her address on air?
No, I'm not. Part of the Oak Park School District works with Disney students, so they work with all the Disney stars and kids or whatever. So when she was in high school, Tia and Tamara, right, the ones that were on sister, yep, went to her school, and she went to prom. She doesn't remember if it was Tia or Tamara, but went to prom with one of them and the guy that she was going with. They all shared a limo together or whatever. So that was like a thing.
Way to go, Crystal. Crystal, that's making it into the trivia for sure. That's strong.
So she I don't know which one it was, and she was like, actually didn't know who they were at the time. I was like, really, Twitches? Like, come on, sister, like this is the jam. This was the jam back in the day.
And I say this only with love, and you guys came up with some great stuff. So, but let me just say, guys, as a producer, the assignment was Disney Parks trivia, and we got anger towards Frozen and prom with Tia, but that's actually better than what I came up with. No, I'm saying it as a compliment. It was better than what I came up with.
One day I ate 4 turkey legs at Disneyland.
Oh God!
Like the big ones?
Yep, 4 of them.
James.
2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon.
I'm physically.
How much did that cost you?
Oh, I don't know.
In the wallet and in the stomach.
Oh, in this with meat, I can eat whatever. If it's like sugary or like kind of like a thick thing, like I can't do it. But if I eat turkey legs, although I was very sleepy for a while. So
okay, we're gonna know. But actually, Crystal, that was a great one.
Turkey leg.
That was a good one. All right, Mando, take it away. You got some Disney Parks trivia?
Yes, I do, and it's with my really cool grandpa, who we talked about on the show before. My very first time to Hollywood Studios, I went with my mom, my sisters, and my grandparents, and it was one of the funniest trips because we went to Hollywood Studios. I was really young. I was 7 or 8. And my sisters, being that they're younger than me, they didn't really go on a lot of rides because at the time, Hollywood Studios was more of like a, action-packed, like more thrill kind of rides. So I was a very much like adrenaline junkie as a kid because I was always scared of animatronics. So I never went on It's a Small World. I never went on the Bear Jamboree. I was terrified. So when we went to Hollywood Studios for the first time, I wanted to go on Tower of Terror so badly. I had my sights set on it. And my mom obviously had to watch my sisters. And then, it was only my grandma and my grandpa. So I thought as like a kid, I was like, I'm never going to go on this. So we walked down the lane to get to Tower of Terror. And I was like, oh, Papa, like, I want to go on this so badly. And he was like, oh, okay. He literally just turns to my grandma, takes his hat off, and he's like, I'll go on with her. I could not believe
Let's go.
This like tall, thin Italian man, like so frail. I was like, what are you talking about? You're going to go on this with me?
He had a heart attack that day, by the way. Mando was able to top Danny's story. Danny put his mother in a wheelchair and you gave your grandfather a heart attack.
He loved it though. And we went on twice. We literally went on and then we went off and we went on. He absolutely loved it.
You know what? That's how horrifying Tower of Terror is, that your grandmother, who was literally not afraid of being in a hurricane while staying in her mobile home and wouldn't leave, was too afraid to go on Tower of Terror. And I'm with you, Grandma. It's a horrifying ride. Your grandfather, though, I mean, great. The man's made of steel. That makes perfect sense.
I swear my grandfather was not afraid of anything. That man had no fear.
Yeah,
I was convinced of it.
That's going on. That's going on trivia night. We love you, Gramps. All right, we're gonna do. We have 3 minutes left until I have to put my child to bed. So we're gonna do just a lightning round really quick. You guys can just fire away, and these will be on the next trivia night. So Disneyland used to have tickets, like you had to have tickets to get on rides, and they had letters associated with certain rides. What letter was the most coveted Disneyland ticket? So this would get you on the best rides.
You're gonna have to You're gonna have to say that.
E-ticket.
Oh, Jake gets it. E-ticket. Jake is up 1-0. All right.
What was E associated with?
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Matterhorn. So those are the top.
My mom's favorite.
Was it E for Extreme or something? What was the E for? Like, what?
It just goes A, B, C, D, E. So it just, it's just in order. It ended at E. So A was the worst. E was the best. All right. This one, what was Tarzan's treehouse at Disneyland originally themed as?
Swiss Family Robinson.
Dang it.
My internet was bad. I had it, Jake.
I was starting to go there too.
Jake got you with the Wi-Fi. Jake's up 2-0. Jake, we'll give you Danny and James a half a point. Mando, you got something?
Yeah, it's actually Swiss Family Treehouse in Florida.
It's still there at Disney World.
Give her a half point, David.
You can get a half point there. So I will
Better
say,
lose by half point.
To me, from what I've seen I know they wanted to, like, at the time that Tarzan was a big movie, and it's fine, but like the Swiss Family Robinson one was so much cooler in terms of the like intricate set pieces. So good on you, Disney World, for keeping that.
Where was it in Disneyland?
It's next to Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
it's in Adventureland.
Between Pirates and Indiana
and
Jones,
Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
All right. Well, that's the end of this special episode with the great Danny Hawawini. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Danny. I loved having Danny here. We might have to have Danny just join the cast. I mean, Danny,
don't tempt me with a good time, David. I would love to.
Listen, if you wanna step and join the cast,
replace Luke.
Well, you know, Luke,
I could never.
Ouch.
Luke is still
kicking him to the curb. Fair weather friend.
Luke will at least be here for trivia nights, but Luke is a busy man. He's got a kid coming on the way. So listen, Danny, if everyone signs off, I'm saying James is a little worried. Here's why.
I was gonna say he looks troubled.
Everyone said yes except for James. James kind of nervously scratched his eye,
and that was the problem, James.
James still hasn't come up with the right insult name.
That's the thing is I'm still working on the name, so it's going to take time. I thought I had.
It gives you more time if he's on.
Yeah, it gives you more time, James.
Fair enough. I feel like
if I gave you Hawawini?
What? Hawawini?
What if I gave you Hawawini? Yeah.
Hawawini. Oh, that's too good. That's too good.
Oh, it's my fantasy football name.
That's a good one. Jake just went all Elsa on Luke.
Yeah, Jake's like, get him out.
Yeah,
I
love
like, Luke.
Stab him in the back.
I was actually really
let it go, Luke.
I was super bummed out finding out he wasn't going to be on the show tonight. So take that.
We love you, Luke. We miss you, buddy. But yeah, so thank you guys. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and every podcast app I think on the planet we're on. Subscribe on YouTube. Our trivia night's going to be streaming on YouTube and then on Kahoot. Kahoot is a thing that young people know about that does trivia stuff. So that link we'll send out some emails. If you're on a mailing list, DisneyTonightShow.com, get on the mailing list. We'll send out the Kahoot link and it'll be on Instagram. It'll be all over. So we're going to do that. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. To the Hawawini faithful, thank you for listening and joining us. We are gonna keep this wonderful face on the show, and this is exciting. And yeah, I feel good. We're back, baby. Disney Tonight Show is back. Well, we're leaving now because the episode's ending, but we're back in general. So thank you guys so much. My name is David Studebaker. That's Jake Taylor, Danny Hawawini, James D. Creviston, and hello there, Mando. Thank you guys. See you next time.